Hi, everyone, and good morning, and welcome to Signature West Podcast. I'm your host, Sam West from Palm Springs, California. If you live in Palm Springs or you visit Palm Springs, you would know that one of our major outdoor activity is golfing. And we have some of the most gorgeous golfing resorts here in Palm Springs. One in particular is Tahquitz Creek Golf Resort. It appears that the resort is at risk of some sort. And my guest today is Ernest Cecinia. And he is going to tell us why it's at risk and what's being done about it and what you can do to help. So if you live in Palm Springs, pay attention. Okay, so hi, Ernest.
Hi, how you doing, Sam?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
So when did you move to Palm Springs?
Not that long ago. My husband and I moved here in August of last year. During COVID, really our only way of socializing was walking the dog. And so we met a lot of amazing neighbors, the community, and we got very close in that period of time.
And you live, how close are you to the golf course?
I actually live off of the eighth hole of the Tahquitz Creek Golf Legends course. And so,
how
go
close
ahead.
is that? That sounds pretty close.
It's pretty much the only thing separating my yard from the golf course is a small pony wall. Some neighbors don't even have that. It literally, their backyard just flows right into the golf course. The Legends course is shaped very uniquely in the sense that it's intertwined with the rest of the community.
And you also serve as a chairman for the golf course for Tahquitz Creek.
For the neighborhood organization, I serve as chairman, correct.
And when did you start doing that?
Oh, I joined, I was approached in December. And it was in January that things really got interesting around here.
How so?
We have, because we're right next, bumped up against the Tahquitz Creek Golf, the Tahquitz Creek Wash, which is known for homeless camping encampments. In January, we had an individual going around setting fires in the wash, which spread to a neighbor's home, their front yard actually. And it was an eye opener at that moment that we really had an issue going on. Talking with the rest of the neighbors, I started hearing ugly words like arson, human trafficking, people fighting in the middle of the night, screaming, breaking into cars, ringing doorbells at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was, people were becoming very scared.
And this was when did this come to the forefront?
It was in January when the fires occurred that I started hearing all these stories of how people were changing their habits because they were becoming scared of the elements that were living here. The homeless population, just like in a lot of Palm Springs, a lot of other areas, it has just gotten out of control.
And this is January of 2021.
2021. It existed, but that was my experience. The first time I really had my eyes open to it.
And then when did you become aware of the actual city and the sale of the property?
Shortly throughout that, because we're only talking about a few months now.
Right.
It's been rumored. It was a lot of rumor, is what it was. It was a lot of rumors. And as I started looking into this and people bringing information to me as the chairman, I started kind of just digging around, asking questions. I started with 1PS, asking questions there, having city council respond. And it was just starting to put pieces together that this is a possible reality, that our golf courses could be sold.
But did you hear it from a neighbor, or did you read an article?
It started off just chatter in the community. Oh, they're selling it. Oh no, it's never going to happen. And I'm kind of I'm a bean counter at heart. I'm a numbers guy. I like facts. I'm a compliance auditor full time. So I needed to kind of solidify some solid information. Again, just digging around, there was Oswald Land Corp, OLT. Their intentions were very clear.
Let's just hold. So just for the audience,
Sure.
who is Oswald?
Oswald Land Trust.
Yeah, who is that?
Oswald Land Trust is a nonprofit organization, and they do some amazing work. They really got started with saving Oswald Canyon from being developed into condos, which I applaud them for. They're in the process of looking to acquire a couple of other private golf courses here in the area because one is dilapidated, Bel Air Greens, which is an eyesore to say the least. The other Mesquite Golf Course, privately owned. The owner has made it very clear that he's looking to sell to a developer and put up condos.
And that's privately owned.
And that's privately owned, correct. Tahquitz Creek Golf is neither of those two things.
What is it?
First of all, it's Palm Springs' only municipal course. It serves I believe it's one of 3 municipal courses in the valley. It serves the community in a way like no other due to its affordability. The local high schools use it for practice, Palm Springs and Cathedral City. It hosts the National Football Association, the men's club, the women's club. I mean, it serves a community at so many different levels. It would just be a travesty to see it go.
And how many homes are they around the golf course, roughly, would you say?
It's hard to say only because when we say Tahquitz Creek Golf Resort, we are talking about 2 different golf courses. They're both owned by the city. They're 2 18-hole courses. There's the Legends course, which is older. It's built in the 1960s, and the Resort course, which was built in the 1990s. So houses all the way around those 2 properties, I'm not 100% sure.
Any idea roughly?
But I want to say within just the Legends
Right.
here in Tahquitz Creek Golf neighborhood,
Right.
There's probably 100 single-family homes, and then a number of complexes that are around us.
Okay. So obviously those are the immediate properties that are at risk, plus the adjacent.
Yes.
Okay. And when did you start the Safe PS Golf initiative?
It was a community effort is how it started. As a chairman, I was kind of standing by watching and hearing the community say that something had to be done, but there was no organization, there was nobody, there wasn't one voice. It started with a neighbor concerned with the situation, living here on the golf course, that printed up some flyers just to make everyone aware that this is a possibility and we need to pay attention to this. Other neighbors started going door to door, handing out yard signs, the Safe PS Golf yard sign, and that's really where the name started. Other neighbors wanted to do a petition. They wanted to go door to door, and in Palm Springs during the heat, probably not the safest thing. So I helped them create an online petition. It kind of snowballed kind of that way. And I finally said, I need to get this organized so that we're not duplicating efforts, that everyone's aware of what others are working on. And it was with that SafePSGolf.org came about.
And has it been confirmed that it's no longer a rumor, it's an actual reality?
It is a reality. It's not. I want to be clear that the golf course at this time is not for sale, but believe me, that process is in play. Oswald Land Trust did begin that process by approaching the city, and the city is now following their own procedures to go through this, leading up to a possible sale of the golf course.
And how long does that process would take? Like normally, what does it take?
It's we've asked city council in different meetings. They've indicated 12 months roughly.
It's not that long.
It's not that long. It can go by very, very fast, and if we're not paying attention, it'll be pulled out from us. The city is being very upfront. I have yet seen any indication that they're trying to hide anything. They're being very clear on what they're doing as far as they are following a process, a procedure. And we need to understand that procedure and make our voice heard.
Besides the obvious, if it goes for sale, if it sells, what are the ramifications if it's sold? And who would it be sold to? A private party? What do you see happening in the future if that takes place?
We've had, the board met with OLT. They are looking to create a desert preserve, which is a loose term that's been thrown around. That
do you explain what that means?
That's the thing. It's kind of I've heard it can be anything. It can be it could be butterfly gardens. It can be.
So is that like a code? So is that like a code to make it appear?
To me, it's
a goodwill.
We could say that, yes. In my mind, there's nothing to it. There's no substance. OLT doesn't have experience in creating this. They may have the financial backing to make this happen. My big concern is maintenance. Currently, again, there's no experience there. There's no history of how this will be maintained, how well it'll be maintained. It's a gamble. It's an experiment that's trying to be performed here within the city, and all under the scare tactics of big development is coming, and if you don't choose us, that condos are going in your backyard. It's sad. It's sad that scare tactics have to be used. There's a variety of pieces of truth that's in the story, but it's knowing the facts, knowing what's in front of us, that gives me that sense of relief that this is most likely not going to happen. But we do have to pay attention. One of OLT's biggest bullets is that this AB Bill 672. This was a bill that was trying to be passed in California, very convoluted bill, high level, just to summarize it, requiring that cities rezone their municipal courses to also include development, where right now they're zoned for open space. The bill did not go anywhere. It was dead on arrival when it got to committee, and showing that there was no support for this. It does technically still exist. So is there a possibility that it's going to come back? There is. What are the chances that it's going to all of a sudden have the support that it needs to get pushed through? Most likely not. And that's what we're looking at.
So what is your goal in the meantime to take place from Safe PS Golf initiative, beside the awareness, obviously, beside the neighbors, become aware and know what's happening? What is the goal in the near future and in the big picture?
In the near future, there's probably two messages. One going to OLT. They've been public in stating that if the community does not want this, that they would step back. I'm here representing the community. And as far as Tahquitz Creek Golf goes, thanks, but no thanks. It's not something that we want. We are not willing to experiment with our livelihood, our property values, our privacy and security.
Right.
This is not something that we're willing to gamble with. Our other message is for City Council, and that's, we respect the fact that they are going through a procedures that have been in place for a while. We also want them to know this is not what the community wants. We want to remind them that the golf course serves the community directly and indirectly with tourism, like I said, providing affordable golf for everyone. For us, it actually serves as our backyard. I mean, we walk it constantly. We meet there, we walk dogs. It's part of our lifestyle.
So why would you, if you have a chance to ask the city, why would the city, obviously they're very aware of what it does as far as services, community tourism, etc. Why would the city want to take that away?
I don't think they, at least it's not clear now that they want to take it away. They were approached by Oswald Land Trust. They were made an offer, a proposal, and so that triggered a process.
Got it.
The city is very clear. No decision has been made at this time. We do have a year, roughly, that all these different things will come into play. Right now, we're at an appraisal stage. An appraisal, the Oswald Land Trust and City Council did agree to an appraisal. They split the cost. The appraisal did come back. It's no secret, 5.2 million as open space. And the city has it now being independently reviewed for exactly that.
And is that a sign if the city is doing their due diligence with that part of the offering? Is that a sign of that they're considering it?
That's a lot of what people are taking it. They're taking it as this. You're taking all the actions of actually selling it.
It is a beauty, but like you're interested in what being presented to you.
Yeah.
5.2 million is not lunch money.
Right. And so I'm trying to hold on to there is a process. This is part of the municipal code. This is how the city should be responding to being approached with an offer. Within that process, I want to remind everybody is that community outreach will be done. It needs to be done.
What does that look like for the ones that
that's a good question. Since we're not at that point yet, I haven't seen it. But I believe it goes into detail of even how many times that the communities, the surrounding cities, surrounding residents need to be pulled into these conversations. So it is spelled out. We know that is part of the process. What we're doing here is just trying to get organized so that when that time does come, if that time does come, we're ready.
What do you need help with from your neighbors and your adjacent neighbors?
Right now on safepsgolf.org, we have a page, I believe it's what you can do, what you could do now. I encourage everyone to take a look at it for those that feel passionate about this, that want to get involved. There are some very easy steps that people can do. Activism comes in many different levels. So at a minimum, we ask people to go out, read the material, sign the petition, join us in our support. If you need a yard sign, let us know. We'll do our best to get it to you. Right now, we're still working through delivery. I mean, this took off probably about 4 weeks ago, and it's taking off. It's taking off. It really is. And so we've formed a steering committee. We're doing our best to stay ahead of this because people want to get involved. And so we're trying to put out simple ideas. This weekend, we'll be handing out flyers to some of the golfers as they pass by, just to make them, again, aware. Not everybody lives within the city. So, but those that love coming back to these golf courses, we want to make sure they're aware as well. It's things like that. Just yesterday, I received a flyer, which is one of the neighbors decided to print our Safe PS Golf.
Do you want to tell us what does it say?
It's an advertisement that we all get in the mail every day from a realtor. I'm sorry. On her own, wanted to help out, and so she published the Safe PS Golf sign and promoted the website, the Facebook group page. She wanted to help. She didn't need to reach out to us. But this is just kind of the support, the activism that we're seeing, and we're just trying to let everybody know you're welcome. Come on in, we can work together and make our voice heard.
For someone that just bought your home, recently. Are you regretting doing this?
Not at all. I'll tell you right now, this is probably the closest that I'm ever going to get to paradise. I am not a big traveler. I tell my friends, this is my Ibiza. This is my this is my Australia. This is everything for me, and it's worth fighting for to the bitter end. And I'm just so happy to know that there's so many others out there that feel the same way.
And if the city councils or the city right now is listening, what would you want to tell them?
Nothing that we haven't told them yet. We're trying to encourage everyone to be respectful when reaching out to city council. We are encouraging everybody to do so, but in a respectful way. This is city council. We don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, I don't want to discourage anybody. There is a lot of passion. This topic it can get very heated, but it doesn't have to. If we keep it to facts and your own personal, experience here, there's ways to do that in a respectful way when talking to city council.
And you're concerned, you and your neighbors, you're concerned if it does take place. Obviously, beside the fact you might lose the golfing. Someone would say to you, well, Ernest, we're going to make a beautiful development, and gorgeous, and you're going to have wonderful new neighbors, et cetera, et cetera. You're laughing. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with the idea. That's in my mind, it's a fantasy. And again, it probably could happen, but I plan to be here 15, 20, 30 years from now. I mean, we moved out here. This is the thought that this is where we're going to stay.
Right.
And I don't believe or have yet seen where OLT can support this idea that they've put out. With an existing homeless crisis out of control, with the lack of experience on how to maintain, and I use maintain loosely because in that is security. In fact, OLT currently doesn't even qualify for the endowments that they think that they're going to get in order to afford the maintenance that it's going to cost to keep this desert preserve running. There's a lot of concerns, and what we've had to experience with the wash and how hard we've had to work to just make it safe. In my mind, it can't be done.
Is it possible that it might be safer with, instead of a golf course, we're gonna have actual development and neighbors and people more watching and more taxpayers and et cetera? Is it possible that might take away the current issue that you're having with the homelessness and the unsafe environment?
I can't imagine how it could be safer in that it becomes now private property. So it'd be kind of interesting on how much we could get involved as far as helping out with the homeless. And with any area within Palm Springs, talking with the city police, any area that's left unattended, bushes, trees, anything, immediately the homeless can and will move in.
Right.
It would be a constant uphill battle with the current existing conditions. And in between there, while dealing with it, it's the neighbors that will suffer. Right. With the campfires that are going, with the fires that spread, with the loitering, with the break-ins. We already have seen it. We know this is a fact. This is not going to get better.
When did you see it most in the last, how long? Did it become
one more time? I'm sorry.
When did it become very obvious that there is the unsafe, the homelessness, the fire? When did that become so apparent?
January. I mean, for many, it's been longer. For me, it was January.
Because you just got here.
And it seemed like that was the breaking point. That's when city council, that's when the police department, we were able to get that support that we needed to make changes in the neighborhood. Along with that,
what kind of changes did you get?
We went ahead, we had some fencing put in to try to deter homeless from crossing into the wash. We had the city put up no trespassing signs throughout the wash. So now that,
That's genius.
well, yeah. And this way now the police can enforce that they move along. We've had a number of times when they've come in with bulldozers and cleared out encampments. We've had that done a couple of times since then.
So this all took place in the last 5 months.
The last 5 months.
6 months.
Last 5 months. And then the board itself, the neighborhood organization, actually hired private security to patrol the areas twice a night, just as a presence, which we feel has been, we've seen positive results from.
Any hearings with the city been taking place yet, or just this is only through emails and such? Has any actually been in-person hearings been taking place with you guys and the city?
We're just getting started with meeting with the city. I mean, of course, there's been topic, and we know that this is an ongoing agenda item in the closed session for city council. People have been calling in just about every time there's a city council meeting. Residents have been calling in, expressing their concern. It's been brought up in District 4 meetings with Mayor Christy Holstage, her meetings. It's been brought up many times. And again, it's the city that is following a process. They can clearly say the properties are not for sale right now because they're not, but we are in a process.
And you know for a fact there has been an offer being presented.
I have yet seen any evidence that an offer was made, and it makes sense because without an appraisal, it would be hard to make an offer. As a land trust, my understanding, my high level understanding is that they wouldn't be able to pay any more than what it's appraised at. So that number needed to be determined before an actual offer could be made.
Ernest, this has been an eye-opener. Anything else you want to add to the community, your neighbors, the city, regarding this?
I want to take this. I mean, I think I've said everything I want to. The one thing I do want to say is just, I want to thank everyone that has come out of the woodworks. I mean, just literally, I have no idea how some people are getting my phone number, my email, but that's fine. Just showing the support.
Small town. It's a small town.
It's been great. It's been great. It keeps me motivated. I'm here for the community. This would not be possible if it wasn't for them. It just really wouldn't. So thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Well, I'm glad I could be of help. I'm glad this can give you the platform for you to say what you need to say, and hopefully more people get involved. And certainly I've learned a lot, and I hope the listeners learned a lot. So on that note, I thank you for coming out and tell us what is really happening. And I hope it all gets resolved for the good, for the higher good for everybody.
Yeah.
The city's happy, you guys are happy,
Yeah.
everybody's happy. So thank you again for coming here. And to everyone, I hope this was informative. If you found this of value, please reach out to Ernest and get involved, stay connected. And if you found this episode of value, I encourage you to please subscribe and join us again, because without your help, I can't bring somebody like Ernest here and engage in the community and in the news of what's really going on. So please get involved, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. New episode. And on that note, have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.